But the one thing that always tripped me out about the whole situation was I thought we were one way, but apparently we were doing a lot better than I understood. I came up in the 70s. The civil rights movement was about 10 years prior to my upbringing. And where I came up was everything that the civil rights movement wasn't. Urban Essex County was violent, and we were segregated. There wasn't a lot of people around who were not black. It was pretty much a black community. My teachers, principals, everything, the shopkeepers, whatever, we just, was black. And it was violent, very violent. It was hard for us to understand the whole turn your cheek mentality. If you turned your cheek in urban Essex County and Newark and East Orange and such, it was people on the bus with no pants on at that time because they was wearing leather pants or something and somebody took it, or it was the winter and you seen people on the bus with no coat because somebody done relieved them of it. So we couldn't understand nonviolence and so on and so forth at that time. And we certainly didn't understand integration. But I did always believe that he was sincere. I don't know if his method was correct. So when Malcolm and them used to talk about, like in Message to the Grassroots, he talked about the March on Washington and how their speeches had to be approved and Baldwin couldn't speak because, like Malcolm said, Baldwin's liable to say anything. And he talked about they had to be out before sundown and everything was approved and so on and so forth. So it made it seem like they were weak. But I don't think that Dr. King was weak. I think he was strong, and he met with Malcolm. He met with Elijah. But the one thing that always tripped me out about the whole situation was I thought we were one way, but apparently we were doing a lot better than I understood. Because when they talk about how he was raising money, if you think about it now, you think it was going to a lot of like white organizations and white benefactors. But if you look at the books, he was going to all types of like rich black people, black businesses. Him and Ralph Abernathy, they were flying down to the Caribbean to meet with black people who had businesses, who had banks, who had insurance companies. Right, Ocean City, Maryland, there was black-owned beaches, dealerships, big giant black bus companies, schools, restaurants, hotels, and they were getting money from these people. So it's kind of interesting that he'd go down there and meet with all of these rich lawyers and doctors who would go to the Caribbean just for golf on the Sundays. It seems that the money he raised for them was ultimately used to make that class of black people, by and large, not totally, but by and large, pretty much obsolete, right? They're not extinct, but man, it seems like the civil rights movement took that group of black people off track. So it's ironic.